So Marilyn Manson had one of the biggest courtroom wins that he could have, with not only an accuser recanting, saying the story wasn't real, but get this, pointing at Evan Rachel Wood, the main accuser Marilyn Manson has, and saying, they put me up to this. They caused it all. Now, this declaration is huge, too, because it not only talks about a plot behind the scenes and people trying to get their story straight, to the point that Evan Rachel Wood and the other main accuser drafted this person's accusation. So they didn't come out with it themselves, they say. They're noting that they put it together for them. They, in fact, were given passwords to post this stuff online. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that Marilyn Manson has been alleging all along. This declaration, it goes much, much further, too, saying that Evan Rachel Wood, she coordinated on the day that she launched her accusation, naming Marilyn Manson. You had people behind the scenes. They were doing all the damage that they could, trying to get this to be a group effort when it all pushed forward. And Evan Rachel Wood, she knows this is bad, to the point that she's trying to say none of this happened. And I find that fascinating, don't you? This is somebody they told you need to listen and you need to believe until they say something about Wood. You and I, we're going to talk about that today. Crazy times, huh? Crazy times indeed. All right, so hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. I mean, this is an absolute bombshell for real. When I say that Marilyn Manson scored his biggest courtroom win possible, I mean that here. You can see this in the media. Maybe that's because their complicity is outlined. You can see The View and People magazine named here spreading these allegations. But Marilyn Manson has gone from vilification with them being used to attack JD to the media thinking, oh man, this is another scenario, and they know how bad the last one hurt them. Listen, this is why. So the declaration of Ashley Lindsay Morgan Smithline. So in November 2010, Smithline says they had a brief consensual, you notice that descriptor there, consensual relationship with Brian Warner, aka Marilyn Manson, during a trip that they took from Los Angeles to Thailand where they were living. 10 years later, so everything's good for 10 years, but then after 10 years, they end up succumbing to pressure from Evan Rachel Wood and her associates to make accusations of. There's an A word. I'm going to call it accosting. There's another word. I'm going to call it ARPing. You know exactly what I mean with that, against Brian Warner that were not true. In 2020, I was contacted either by Ashley Walters. They describe Ashley Walters as the ex-assistant for Brian Warner. They're the ones that helped them arrange their travel. They also spent time with them on their trip, so they knew them. Or Gore. Gore is one of the main accusers of Marilyn Manson. They have a crazy past. I mean, if you want to hear about that, we can do our own video of it. But they were either contacted by one or the other to participate in a group meeting of women who they said had relationships or experiences with Brian Warner. Ultimately, I participated in at least one such group call and a meeting that was filmed in October 2020, which I only later learned was for Phoenix Rising. That was the documentary they put out, which brings a lot of scrutiny to that thing, too. From this time in 2020 to June 2021, I had many communications with Evan Rachel Wood. Now, from there, she details horrendous allegations. One, she said that Evan Rachel Wood had happened to her and quote-unquote others. Did they happen to you as well? And when she said, no, that didn't happen to me, it didn't matter. Why? Because she was repressing memories. She was misremembering. I kid you not. This is the epitome of false allegations. Listen to this. This is crazy. So when I said no, this did not happen to me, that's not my experience, I recall being told by Evan Rachel Wood that just because I could not remember did not necessarily mean that it did not happen. So, you thought you had a good time with him? You thought you actually had a consensual relationship? You don't know what you're talking about. While at first I knew Brian Warner did not do these things to me, I eventually began to question whether he really did. On numerous occasions, I was told by Evan Rachel Wood, Esme, Bianco, again, other accusers out there and others, that these things happened to them, asked whether the same things happened to me, and told that I may just be misremembering what happened, repressing my memories of what happened, or that my memories had not yet surfaced, which they said happened to people against whom these acts were perpetrated. I was asked whether I was repressing memories just to get through day-to-day life, and whether it was easier just to not think about what had actually happened than accept reality. They also said it was important for people to come forward so no one else gets hurt. Again, you see how that's laid out? They are not professionals. They are not part of mental health. They are a group of accusers, and they're trying to get other people to say, yes, this happened to me, so they will bring litigation as well. Now, the most insane thing about all these allegations of manipulation are why this takes place. Listen to this. I think this is the true bombshell. This is why Evan Rachel Wood is so unnerved by this. Quote, in or around January 2021, I attended a call on which Evan Rachel Wood said that on a certain day, she would post to her social media naming Brian Warner as, I'm going to say, her accuser, and that we should all do the same on or around the same day. So again, this is collusion on a narrative that you've had people actively telling you that's not real until you browbeat them into saying that it is. This goes further, too. I discussed with the other accuser, the other one, Miss Gore, that making such a statement on my Instagram page accusing Mr. Warner of, I'm going to say, accosting. Miss Gore drafted the statement. So Smithline says, I didn't even make that statement. She made the statement for me. And beyond that, I gave her my password to post it. The narrative ultimately posted on my account on or around February the 1st, 2021, contained untrue statements about Brian Warner, including that there was volatility, there was non-consensual activity in their relationship, and that I had repressed memories of the same. And there are more accusations in that, some crazy ones. She said, yeah, I never even made those at all. And these accusations of manipulation, they go all the way into lawsuit territory, with her saying that one of the lawyers that was representing other people that were coordinating and colluding, they said they take me on too. In fact, they didn't review anything that was written, they said. Words that they're claiming, these weren't their allegations to begin with. They say instead they pressured me to go on a press tour, and they bring up the complicity of the mainstream as well. They talk about, I got an interview on The View. I had a photo shoot with People magazine. Again, this is how you ruin people's lives. And these folks, they knew that it would be done, and that it would be done so easily. But when you look at this again, Marilyn Manson's biggest freaking win. You couldn't ask for more than someone to recant and to point fingers at other people. Let me know what you think about this, though. Always appreciate you sincerely. Let me know what you think. Links are in the description if you want to help out the channel. You being here, though, that is big time. Thank you. Going to end here. Thanking you again. See you soon.